Welcome to a series sponsored by Ba Sing Se University. The Dai Li, known to all Avatar fans as the secret police of Ba Sing Se, who ultimately work to capture, interrogate, and intimidate political dissidents. They seem to have awed us as audience members with their clandestine nature, their fighting abilities, and just the very mere presence whenever they're on screen. I always wondered what could have inspired the Dai Li from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So here are some of my conclusions, and I'd like to share them with you. The Dai Li, the Chinese characters being the following. Those are literally the same Chinese characters for a guy who existed in Chinese history. The real man, Lieutenant General Dai Li. Remember, Chinese is a tonal language, so that's why it might be weird that I'm emphasizing particular tones of the name Dai Li. Lieutenant General Dai Li was a Chinese spy master. His original name was Dai Chunfeng. Dai Chunfeng picked up the name Dai Li when he enlisted at the KMT Officer Military Training Academy. Dai Li, this term in Chinese, refers to an assassin's hooded veil. The fact that this guy picked the name Dai Li implies the kind of career he wanted to cultivate. Dai Li would go on to possess a lot of power. He had many titles and was in charge of many organizations, one of them being the Blue Shirt Society, a fascist organization that did security and intelligence work for Chiang Kai-shek, who was the leader of the Chinese Nationalist Party at the time. In the 1930s and 40s, Dai Li's agents were very successful at penetrating the Chinese Communist Party and Imperial Japanese puppet organizations. Dai Li himself would go on to procure the nickname the Himmler of China. And this is not an honorable title, considering that Heinrich Himmler was one of the most powerful men in Nazi Germany and the main architect of the Holocaust. The other spooky thing about this Dai Li guy is that he avoided public events and he remained a mysterious figure to the rest of his countrymen. He died in a plane crash in 1946, and even the details of his death are a little bit vague. It even seems like Dai Li's persona, to a certain degree, inspired Longfeng, the director or leader of the Dai Li from Book 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. A few things to add is that we all know that culturally and politically, the Earth Kingdom is inspired by China, particularly the Qing Dynasty and pre-World War II and World War II China. Chiang Kai-shek's China drew so much inspiration from Mussolini's and Hitler's governments. China itself, its system, was described by many people as fascist without the efficiency. During the 1930s, China even worked closely with Nazi Germany in terms of reforms, military training, economic endeavors. I'm going to share a few photos that demonstrate that kind of Sino-German cooperation during the 1930s. And I'll tie this into why this relates to the Dai Li from Avatar: The Last Airbender. You can see in this photo that these are Chinese soldiers, but they're wearing German Wehrmacht equipment, the German army equipment. You can see the very famous Steinhelm, and these uniforms that they're wearing are German-made. In this photo, you can see that this Chinese soldier, he's fully decked out with a German gas mask, a Steinhelm, and a Mauser pistol, which was a very iconic German pistol for a lot of German infantrymen. This is a picture of Jiang Weiguo, who was Chiang Kai-shek's adopted son. He was an officer in the Wehrmacht. Jiang Weiguo even participated in the German annexation of Austria. This photo was taken in 1937, and it's a Chinese machine gun nest in Shanghai. You can see here that they're fully decked out with German equipment. They have German light machine guns, they have German helmets, and they have German uniforms. Most Chinese soldiers who served under the nationalist regime looked like this. The German-trained Chinese units were very elite units, and there weren't that many of them. But they were enough to make certain impacts in certain battles, particularly the Battle of Shanghai and later on. And for comparison, I want to show you this image. This is the original German army, or the German Wehrmacht from World War II. You can see a striking resemblance between these German soldiers and the German-trained Chinese soldiers that I just showed you. Now, what's the connection with Avatar? Well, the Dai Li from Avatar: The Last Airbender are these elite, clandestine, secret police units that aren't part of the regular military. In a lot of the ways that I explained, the Dai Li agents from Avatar remind me a lot of the German-trained soldiers and the agents that Dai Li himself had under his command. What did you guys think? Did you enjoy this lecture from Ba Sing Se University? Do you guys agree or disagree with my findings? And thank you very much for tuning into my pilot episode of Ba Sing Se University Lectures.